What's up, everybody? Trayvon here with Scent Talk TV, and today I will be doing a full review on a fragrance that I got from my local Burlington. A little bit about this fragrance. It was people online that said that this fragrance was garbage, and it was some people with, I'm assuming, with mature noses that has experienced this fragrance and tried this fragrance out and said that this one is a knockout, hit it out of the park type of a fragrance. And here's my opinion in a few seconds, but I'm talking too much. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, introducing from the house of Lattafa, we have, if I butcher this name, I apologize. It is what it is. Habik by Lattafa. Here is the box. The box is pretty nice, pretty solid looking box. One of my favorite colors, purple. You got the name of the fragrance right here, name of the house at the bottom with the size and concentration. You have the little holographic sticker right here. Nothing, actually, I take that back. It is something on the side. Is this the back of the box? Usually this is in the back of the box, but it's on the side of the box, which is kind of weird. But anyway, I digress. You got the ingredients and all that great stuff right there going down the box right here. And at the top of the box, you got the Lattafa logo, as well as the name of the house, excuse me. And at the bottom of the box, you got the barcode, QR code, the website, and all that good information right there at the bottom of the box. As well as the price. It cost me $33 and some change. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot begin on how, I don't know where to begin on how gorgeous and dope this bottle looks. This bottle looks amazing. Look at this. This is the most exquisite perfection of a bottle in my hands. This bottle is just astounding. I love how this bottle looks. Very, very well crafted. Very, very well designed. It is gorgeous. I cannot get enough of this bottle. Sits very, very pretty in my collection. But I'm talking too much. You got the name of the house right there in the middle. At the bottom right here on the tag, you got the size and concentration right there. On top of the cap, you have the Lattafa logo. It's a snug fit. The cap is not loose, which is a good thing as well. Nothing inside the cap. The cap is very heavy. It got a nice amount of weight to it. And the atomizer around, the rim right here, the collar, nothing, no leakage. So that's a good positive sign, of course. But let's check out this atomizer and see how much it sprays out. Pretty good. Sprays out pretty good. The overall concept of this fragrance is through and through very masculine. This is not your playful, crowd-pleasing type of a scent. This fragrance is definitely a try before you buy. This fragrance is not blind buy worthy. It has not a lot of complexity to it, but it does. It has a nice amount of complexity to it, to the point where I say this is a try before you buy type of a fragrance, because it has a lot of maturity in terms of, the accords of green, fresh, spicy, it's herbaceous, has like a powdery type of a musk that's animalic, as it dries down on your skin. But the opening is really where the masculinity kind of creeps in and takes its course throughout this this fragrance. It's very masculine and also appealing to me. But like I said, it's a try before you buy. So the notes in this fragrance, starting from the top, you got pepper, cardamom, artemisia, and bergamot. The middle notes is lavender, cinnamon, sage, as well. In the base, you have tonka bean, saddlewood, musk, patchouli, and amberwood. So immediately in this fragrance, you get that artemisia, if I pronounced that right. Very green, herbaceous, and masculine. The opening is probably not going to be most people's favorite. You're probably not going to be a favorite of that Artemisia because it comes off very strong, bitter, and powerful and masculine. You know, green and foresty like. You know, that's where the fresh spiciness comes in with the Artemisia, but it makes it no better that it is mixed in with that pepper. The pepper gives it a little bit more of an oriented, you know, herbaceous type of a spice, as well as that cardamom gives it like a resinous type of a spice. In the top of this fragrance, soon as you spray this on, you will get a lot of tickles in your nostrils because it will kind of make you sneeze a little bit because it is so peppery and strong and green in the opening. The bergamot in the top though, it brightens it up a little bit. You know, it has like this bitter, like citrusy type of a lime fruitiness from that bergamot, but you know, it's subtle and it's like kind of non-existent, but you still can be able to pick it up underneath that powerful Artemisia note. However, once you get into the mid with that lavender, cinnamon, and that sage, you know, you get a little bit more of a culinary type of a green spice when it comes to that sage. A little bit of a masculine floral from that sage as well. You know, cinnamon kind of like, you know, warms it up, you know, warms it, adding even more spices to it. But to be honest with you, like immediately you just get a whole bunch of spice, you know, initially in this fragrance. But thankfully, it's short-lived. The powderiness that comes in with that lavender, you know, is kind of like green, powdery, and a little bit smooth. Just a little bit smooth when it comes to that that lavender mixed in with that cardamom. Kind of smooths it out a little bit, like a powdery resinous type of a accord that courses through this fragrance in the mid. Finally, in the base though, the base is when it warms up and it gets a little bit more dense and a little bit more stronger too, you know, as far as like the smell goes. And the accords that courses through this fragrance, you know, it kind of amplifies once you get into the base of this fragrance because that patchouli makes it even more green, you know, dark and mysterious, and also sweet, foresty like type of accord that you get from the patchouli. You know, the musk makes it a little bit more masculine, you know, a little bit more of an ashy, dusty type of a smell that's alumalic, but it's not too invasive. It's not too like all in your face, you know, annoying or anything like that. You know, it's just hanging low, doing this thing quite nicely in the base of this fragrance. Also, when it drives down into the base, you know, that tonka bean kind of sweetens it up a little bit, making it a little bit of a slight nutty, like grassy, herbaceous type of a sweetness from that tonka bean. You know, the sandalwood smooths everything out. You know, that's how the musk is being able to smooth out because of that sandalwood as well. You know, smooth, woody, and soft from that sandalwood. You know, the amberwood is where you get that resinous type of you know, balsamic type of accord. Not balsamic to where it's like gourmand or anything like that. Balsamic in warmth and sweetness with that amberwood. But yeah, this is slightly of a complex fragrance. This is not your, you know, your everyday wear or anything like that, or a grab and go, or something that you want to get compliments from depending on who you're around and what their taste is. But this is, once again, a try before you buy. It's complex, kind of difficult, not difficult, but it's kind of complex because it has a strong masculine factor to it. So you've been warned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the performance of this fragrance, I had a good time with it. You know, it wasn't like beastly or anything like that. You know, it wasn't like a room filler or anything like that, but it also wasn't weak either. It was right in between, because I feel like if this fragrance was any more stronger than what it is, it will probably annoying, headache inducing, and kind of hard to pull off. So when it comes to the performance, it's right where it needs to be. Average, unless you overspray like me, but it's average. You know, the performance was pretty good on my skin by overspraying, that is. I got a good hour of projection and set close to the skin, giving me the total longevity of 6 to 7 hours. It started getting like, you know, weak and faint after like the 5th hour mark on my skin. Still able to pick it up, you know, getting little whiffs here and there and stuff like that. Body heat amps up, you know, it pushes out a little bit more, you know, for you to pick it up even more. So that's a good thing. It adapts well in, like, you know, warmth. I wouldn't say high heat, but in my city, in my area, it was a little bit warmer than usual for this time of year. So when my body heat amped up, it did push out a lot. I mean, it did push out like a little bit, but it wasn't to the point where it was cloying or anything like that. So that's a good sign. When it comes to the age group to wear this, you know, like I always say, if you like it, wear it, who cares? But specifically, this one has a lot of masculinity in this fragrance for the middle age on up. Mainly on up, you know. The younger guys is probably gonna think this is a disgusting fragrance. It's too mature, it's too powerful. They probably will say it's dated, but to the experienced nose, you'll probably appreciate this. People that's inexperienced or new to fragrances, you might not like this fragrance that much. So you've been warned on that factor as well. When it comes to the seasons, spring and fall, you know, summertime, I will say no. But if you want to wear it in the summertime, I highly suggest that you wear it in the evenings. You know, in the daytime when it's hot, I will say this is a no-go. But only evening wear in the summertime if you want to wear it in the summertime. But I recommend spring and fall. Probably wintertime. You know, you'll probably do well in the wintertime. Probably won't push through the cold that much. Probably sit a little bit closer to your skin. But, you know, a little warmth with this one won't hurt. But too much, it'll be like overkill. So definitely know in the summertime, definitely go when it comes to the spring and the fall time. My final thoughts on this fragrance. The bottle, just look at the bottle. It's fantastic. From the box, from the way that it smells to the bottle, the presentation of the bottle and the box and stuff like that is just 10/10 in my opinion. You know, like I said, you know, it's a little bit complex. You know, it's a try before you buy. It's not blind buy worthy, but if you want to take that chance, it's up to you. Inexperienced noses probably won't appreciate this. If you are experienced like me, when it comes to fragrances like this, you might find some appreciation in this fragrance. So that's all that I have for Scent Talk TV, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, you know what to do. You got to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there and be blessed. And have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.